The cost of a daughter's silence. The morning was heavy with Karachi's humid air, the kind that clings to your skin like a second layer. Ayesha Begum sat on the creaky wooden chair in her small Kachi-abadi home, staring at the cracked mirror on the wall. Her reflection showed a woman of 60, her face etched with lines from years of labor, her dupatta frayed at the edges. Her hands, calloused from stitching clothes for the elite of Clifton, trembled as she held her old Nokia phone. The screen displayed a bank notification that froze her heart. Balance? 0 Pakistani rupees. Her life's savings, 12 lakh rupees, scraped together over decades of sewing, skipping meals, and forgoing new clothes for herself, were gone. She dialed the bank, her voice steady, despite the storm inside her. The representative's voice was robotic, indifferent. The funds were transferred to an account under the name of Hina Tariq. Aisha's breath caught. Hina, her only daughter. The girl she'd raised alone after her husband walked out when Hina was 3, leaving nothing but a note that read, "I'm not made for this life." Ayesha didn't cry. She didn't scream. She hung up and sat in silence, the only sound the distant hum of a rickshaw and the chatter of children playing in the alley. Her neighbor, Salma, burst in, her phone glowing with excitement. "Ayesha, have you seen Hina's Instagram? She's in Dubai, yar, posting pictures in fancy hotels with her husband and his sister. Allah, what a life." Aisha's fingers tightened around her phone. She hadn't touched social media in years, but she knew Hina's account. She opened it, and there it was. Hina, radiant in a shimmering lehenga, laughing beside her husband, Bilal, and his sister, Farzana, against the backdrop of Dubai's glittering skyline. The caption read, "Chasing dreams in the city of gold, grateful for new beginnings." Below, Farzana had commented, "Thanks to family sacrifices, we're living the dream," with a winking emoji. Aisha's chest tightened, not from pain, but from clarity. She remembered every sacrifice, selling her mother's gold bangles to pay for Hina's school fees, working nights to afford her college books, giving up her own dreams of a small tailoring shop so Hina could study fashion design. Hina, who once promised, "Ami, one day I'll make you proud. I'll buy you a proper house." Now that same daughter had drained her account without a word, leaving her mother to drown in the silence of betrayal. In Dubai, Hina sipped a mocktail by the pool, her laughter echoing across the rooftop of a 5-star hotel. Bilal, her husband of 2 years, adjusted his sunglasses, his smile tight. Farzana, lounging nearby, scrolled through her phone, planning their next move. "This was a genius idea, Hina," Farzana said, her voice low. "Taking the money was the right call. Your mother wouldn't have known what to do with it anyway. Old women like her just hoard cash." Hina's smile faltered. "I don't know. It feels wrong sometimes." "She worked so hard for it. Hard work doesn't mean smart work," Farzana snapped. "You're young. You're talented. This money is your ticket to a real future. Besides, Bilal agrees, don't you?" Bilal nodded, but his eyes were distant, fixed on the Burj Khalifa in the distance. He hadn't said much since they landed. Hina didn't notice the unease in his silence, but she pushed it aside. She wanted to believe this was her moment, her escape from the narrow alleys of Karachi, from the smell of thread and sweat, from her mother's endless lectures about saber and sacrifice. Back in Karachi, Ayesha didn't crumble. She went to her old sewing machine, the one she'd bought secondhand when Hina was a baby, and began stitching a new dupatta. The rhythm of the needle was her anchor. As she worked, her mind churned. She remembered the day Hina got married, how Ayesha had spent her last savings on a gold necklace for her daughter, even though Farzana had whispered, "Such a tacky design. Hina deserves better." Ayesha had smiled then too, swallowing the sting. But this time, the smile on her face was different, sharp, like the edge of a tailor's scissors. She called her old friend, Rahim Chacha, a retired bank clerk who lived 2 streets over. His hands shook from age, but his mind was sharp. Rahim Chacha, I need your help. Someone's taken my money, and I think it's Hina. Rahim's face darkened. You're Hina? Ayesha, are you sure? I'm sure, she said, her voice steady. I need to know how to stop this. How to make it right for days. Rahim and Ayesha pored over bank statements, piecing together the trail. Hina had access to Ayesha's account, granted years ago for emergencies. The transfers were deliberate. Large sums moved to a new account in Bilal's name, then wired to Dubai. Rahim shook his head. This isn't just theft, Ayesha. They've used your name on documents you didn't sign. This is fraud. Ayesha's heart sank, but her resolve hardened. She visited bank, then a local lawyer, a woman named Saima, who had grown up in the same Kachiabadi and now fought for women like Ayesha. Saima's eyes blazed as she read the papers. We can freeze the account and file a fraud complaint. But Ayesha, this means Hina could face legal trouble. Are you ready for that? Ayesha looked out the window at the children playing in the dust. I'm not doing this to punish her. I'm doing it to save her. In Dubai, the cracks began to show. Hina noticed Bilal's growing distance. He spent hours on his phone, whispering to Farzana. One night, Hina overheard them on the balcony. Once we secure the account in Dubai, we don't need her anymore, Farzana said. She served her purpose. Hina froze. Her heart pounded. She crept back to bed, pretending to sleep, but her mind raced. She checked her phone and saw a notification. Account frozen. Suspicious activity detected. Her hands shook as she opened the banking app. The money was inaccessible. She confronted Bilal the next morning. What's going on? Why is the account blocked? Bilal's face was unreadable. I don't know, Hina. Maybe your mother found out. My mother? Hina laughed, but it was hollow. She doesn't even know how to use the internet. Farzana smirked. Then why are we broke? Your perfect plan just collapsed. Hina's world tilted. She thought of her mother's tired hands, her endless sacrifices, the way she'd say, Hina, Betty, you're my star. Guilt clawed at her, but she pushed it down. She wasn't ready to face it. Ayesha didn't wait for Hina to call. She knew her daughter wouldn't, not yet. Instead, she worked with Saima to file a complaint with the bank and the FIA, citing elder financial abuse. The process was slow, but the account freeze was immediate. Ayesha also discovered something worse. Hina had tried to transfer ownership of their small family plot in Hyderabad, a piece of land Ayesha's father had left her. The attempt failed due to a clerical error, but the intent was clear. Ayesha sat in her room that night, the weight of it all pressing down. She opened her old tin box, where she kept Hina's childhood drawings and a tiny pair of shoes Hina wore at age 5. She wrote in her diary, a small black notebook she'd kept since Hina was born. I gave you my heart, Betty. You took my life's blood, but I will not let you drown in your own mistakes. This is my last lesson. The next day, Ayesha visited the local mosque, not to pray, but to sit in its quiet courtyard. She whispered to herself, Allah, give me strength, not to forgive, but to teach. She wasn't angry anymore. She was resolute. In Dubai, the dream unraveled. The hotel demanded payment, and with the account frozen, Bilal's credit cards were declined. Farzana packed her bags, muttering about useless people. Hina begged her to stay, but Farzana laughed. You thought you were one of us? You're just a pawn, Hina. Good luck Bilal left too, citing a business trip. Hina was alone, stranded in a city of gold with nothing but shame. She checked her phone and saw a message from an unknown number. "Come home, Hina. Face what you've done." It wasn't signed, but she knew it was her mother. Hina called Ayesha that night, her voice breaking. "Ami, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. Bilal said it was okay, that you didn't need the money." Ayesha's voice was calm, like the sea before a storm. "You didn't just take my money, Hina. You took my trust. Come back to Karachi. Face the consequences." "I can't," Hina sobbed. "They'll arrest me." "Then learn to live with what you've done," Ayesha said and hung up. Ayesha's health was fading. A visit to the doctor confirmed anemia, likely from years of overwork and poor nutrition. She refused treatment, saying, "I've lived enough to see my daughter's truth. That's all I need." Saima helped Ayesha recover half the stolen money through legal channels. The FIA issued a notice for Hina to return and testify. Ayesha didn't want her daughter in jail. She wanted her to understand. She wrote a letter and left it with Saima. "Hina, you were my dream. I stitched every hope into you. You tore them apart, but I won't let you tear yourself. Come home, not for me, but for you. Learn to stand without stealing." Hina returned to Karachi a month later, her glamour gone, her eyes hollow. She faced the FIA, admitted her role, and avoided jail by agreeing to repay the remaining amount. Bilal and Farzana disappeared, leaving her to carry the weight alone. She went to Ayesha's house, but the door was locked. A neighbor handed her the letter. Hina read it under the streetlight, tears streaming down her face. She knocked, but no one answered. Ayesha was inside, watching from the window, her heart heavy, but her soul free. She had taught her daughter the hardest lesson. Betrayal cuts deepest when it's against the one who loved you most. Months later, Ayesha's health declined further. She passed quietly one evening, her black notebook on her lap, a faint smile on her face. The neighborhood mourned her, not as a victim, but as a woman who turned pain into purpose. Hina kept the letter, reading it every night, a reminder of the mother she lost and the woman she could still become. Did Ayesha's story touch your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in her place? And let me know which city you're reading from. If this story moved you, support me with a like or share so I can keep bringing you stories that stir the soul. Check out more gripping tales on my channel, and don't forget to subscribe for the next one.